In a world ruled by emperors, where believers were hunted, scattered, and silenced, two ordinary people rose quietly. Not kings, not prophets, not warriors, but a husband and wife. They had no army, no throne, no fame, yet their influence would shape the early church forever. This is the story of Priscilla and Aquila, a story of faith, sacrifice, courage, and a partnership that God used to change history. The city of Rome, powerful, wealthy, and full of life. But for the Jews living there, peace would not last. Around 49 AD, Emperor Claudius issued a sudden decree. All Jews must leave Rome immediately. Homes abandoned, businesses destroyed, families displaced overnight. Among those forced to leave were a married couple, Aquila, a Jew originally from Pontus, and his wife, Priscilla. We are not told how much they lost, but we can imagine the home they built, the life they knew, gone in an instant. Yet even in exile, God was already working behind the scenes. The couple arrived in Corinth, a busy, immoral, and spiritually dark city, a place filled with trade, wealth, and sin. Here they began again. They were tentmakers by trade, skilled workers, creating shelter for travelers and merchants. Day after day, they worked with their hands, rebuilding their lives from nothing. But then, something unexpected happened. A man arrived in Corinth, a preacher, a former persecutor of Christians, now a servant of Christ. His name was Paul. When Paul met Aquila and Priscilla, something clicked immediately. They shared the same trade, the same faith, the same passion for Christ. So Paul stayed with them. They worked together by day, cutting fabric, stitching tents, earning a living. And by night, they spoke of Jesus. Imagine those conversations, stories of transformation, teachings of Christ, encouragement in hardship. This was more than friendship. This was divine partnership. Soon, their home became more than a house. It became a place of ministry, a place where believers gathered, a place where the gospel spread, a church inside their home. Corinth was not an easy place to preach truth. There was resistance, opposition, even danger. But Paul did not stand alone. Priscilla and Aquila stood with him. They supported him, not just financially or practically, but spiritually. They were co-workers in Christ, not in the background, but actively involved in God's mission. Their faith was not passive, it was bold, it was active, it was costly. After many months, Paul prepared to leave Corinth, and Priscilla and Aquila made a powerful decision. They went with him, leaving behind the life they had just rebuilt, once again stepping into the unknown. They traveled to Ephesus, a strategic and influential city. There, Paul eventually moved on, but Priscilla and Aquila stayed behind, not by accident, but by purpose. One day, a man named Apollos arrived in Ephesus. He was eloquent, passionate, knowledgeable in the scriptures. He spoke boldly in the synagogue. But there was a problem. His understanding was incomplete. He knew only the baptism of John. He didn't yet fully understand the message of Jesus. Many would have ignored this or publicly corrected him, but not Priscilla and Aquila. They invited him into their home, quietly, respectfully, lovingly, and there they explained the way of God more accurately. No pride, no humiliation, just truth, shared in love. And because of them, Apollos grew. He became a powerful teacher, boldly proclaiming Christ with clarity and truth. Their influence multiplied. The Bible tells us something extraordinary about this couple. At some point, they risked their lives for Paul. We are not given the full details, but we are told this: they were willing to lay down their lives for the sake of the gospel. Think about that. Not forced, not commanded, but willingly, because their faith was real, because their love for Christ was greater than their fear, because they understood the cost and chose to follow anyway. Wherever they went, Rome, Corinth, Ephesus, one thing remained constant. Their home was always open, not just to friends, but to believers, to seekers, to the church. They didn't just attend church, they hosted it, led it, nurtured it. Their home became a center of faith, a place where lives were changed. Years later, Paul would write about them with deep gratitude. He called them his fellow workers in Christ Jesus. He acknowledged their sacrifice, their courage, their faithfulness. In his letter, he said that all the churches of the Gentiles were grateful for them. Think about that. Not famous, not rulers, but deeply impactful. He even greeted the church that met in their house, a lasting legacy built not on status, but on service. Priscilla and Aquila were not the loudest voices, but they were among the most faithful. They taught, they served, they sacrificed together. They remind us that you don't need a stage to be used by God. You don't need a title or a spotlight. All you need is willingness, faithfulness, and a heart ready to serve. Because sometimes the people who change the world the most are the ones who simply open their homes and say yes to God. If this story inspired your faith, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful Bible stories.